Story time of the scariest story that I have about being a woman and living alone in an RV or an RV park by yourself. In this story, it took place at this park here in Oyster Creek, Texas, with somebody who lives in the park. Actually, she lives, I think, right there. But one night she calls me, and I always am on my phone. Like, if you want to call me, call me. So she calls me. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. She's like, Katie, there's somebody trying to get into my trailer. Like, they're banging so much, and they're just like trying to rip it open. I can hear them, and I hear it, and there's like banging and banging and banging in the background, and I'm like, oh my God. She's like a single girl. She's like she's younger. Like, how did they even know that she lived there? How did they get in? We have a gate. We have security cameras. How did they get in? But I can hear it happening. And I'm like, oh my God. So she hadn't called 911. So we three-way called 911, and the cops are coming, but it's kind of like, time goes by so slowly in those situations. So I'm just telling her, like, okay, just do not go out. Do not open the door for any reason. You just hear it like banging and banging and banging and banging. And I'm like, oh my God, like, it's just so intense, and you can feel it. Like, it feels like you're in Taken, the movie. And I'm like, do not open the door. Do not even let them know you're in there. Like, just don't. And she's like, oh my God, like, my sister's here. What am I going to do? And I'm like, do not open the door. And in the background, you just hear this like banging, 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 banging. And my heart was like beating. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what do I do? Like, I can't really do anything. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like checking on the security cameras. I don't see anything. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just can't zoom in enough. Like, maybe it's too dark. Maybe they're like just out of the view, but I can just hear the banging and the banging, and I'm so scared for her. And as I'm just trying to comfort her and tell her, like, it's going to be okay, I see the cop lights come up, and the cops, surround her camper, and they go out, and then they knock on her door, and I say, okay, yeah, you can open that. And they go, did you call because somebody was trying to break into your camper? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, was it a banging noise that you were hearing? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, well, it's really windy tonight, and your awning is out, and it's banging against your camper. And it's pretty loud. We can hear it from out there, but we checked the entire park. Like, we're checking the entire area, everything. We don't see anything, but let's roll your awning in and see if that stops. So she rolls her awning out, and that was actually what the sound was. And I was relieved, because obviously I want to have a safe park, and I care so much about safety, but I also had to laugh a little bit just at the ridiculousness of it, that 3 o'clock in the morning, this banging, my adrenaline is so high, she's worried about, dying basically, and that it was actually just a little bit of the Texas wind keeping us honest and reminding us to put in your awning.